Hey guys, it's Chrissy Senpai again, and this has been the funnest week of my life. Do you want to know why? Every single thing that could go wrong has gone wrong, or has gone wrong, whatever. And it's just been a wild week. So I know it's like the week before Christmas, and I guess that's the reason why I got cursed to have a crazy week. So at the beginning of the week, I think if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen, because there's way more followers on there than here. If you would have seen that my ceiling collapsed. It was raining for days, and out of nowhere, our ceiling in our bathroom, or not our bathroom, in our laundry room, just fell on the floor, which was fun. I'm sure the owner of this house, he's basically, we have landlords and then there's an owner who we don't really have contact with. But basically after that, they came to fix it. They're like, yeah, a bunch of water basically got in between the roof and the ceiling, and the wood is untreated. So they had to replace a bunch of the wood, had to replace fix the huge hole in the roof, and patched up the hole that was inside, which looks really janky, but I mean, we're just renting, doesn't matter. They fixed it for free. Obviously, if it would be a little bit of a different story if it was a house I owned. And now, today, we fixed that. It was a 2-day process to fix that. And a few days later, our breaker box blows. Something in the breaker box blows. I'm probably not using correct terms, and I'm a complete idiot when it comes to electrical stuff. But something is blown, and the whole right side of my house is not working. Now, you can probably hear like the hum of the gas heater in the background, but I'm talking like all the outlets on the right side of the house aren't working, and you want to know why? Because we do have exotic animals, and they do need to have a bit of a warmer temperature. And usually ambient temperature is not hard to achieve with a good heater and it not being freezing cold outside all the time. Well, that's the problem. It was quite cold for a few days in a row, and I told him that this was a bad idea. This was not my idea, this was my boyfriend's. He got a second heater, a smaller one. And the first time we plugged it in, which was like a few months ago back in October when it was really cold here, it tripped the whole circuit, which that's easy to fix, not when something blows out and you can't access anything and don't know how to. Circuit tripped and the whole house turned off at once and then turned back on. I'm like, okay, we're not doing that again. And then he plugs it in really without telling me again. So I'm like, okay, why'd you plug this back in? He's like, it'll be fine on this level, and I'm like, I don't think so. And then he, I guess, turned it up last night, even though it wasn't that cold. For information, I have frogs and tarantulas and a snake, and he has snakes. Now the snakes are the ones you have to worry the most about, because the frogs and the tarantulas, while they do prefer a bit of a warmer temperature, warmer than like the 50 degrees that him and I constantly live at, having no good heating here. Because open gas heating kind of sucks because it's either way too hot or everything in the rest of the house is cold. But snakes are the ones that you have to worry about the most. The frogs and the tarantulas can tolerate a little bit of a colder, not cold as in freezing cold, but a cooler temperature, as they are all in the bathroom stacked on top of one another right now, so they kind of have to tolerate each other now. But basically, I told him not to plug it in. He plugged it in again, and it blew the whole right side of the house out, and now we're waiting. Because our landlords are off on weekends, essentially, like the company that we rent through is off on weekends, to get someone to come fix it. Because we don't know how to, and they told us they would pay for any repairs. And mind you, this house is a bit on the older side. I would say that this house is probably 80 years old. And I don't know how much of it they've replaced, but it doesn't look like they've replaced much. I couldn't imagine how, like, these heating units are not that old, these wall heating units that they have, because it used to be central heating from a huge 4 unit, like a central heating unit, which, why in God's name did they take that out? I'll never know, because central heating is so much better. But they took it out. There's a huge hole in the hallway now, like not like a death hole, but it's like a grated hole that they took out that we have covered with a rug, and now we have these 2 gas heaters. Which, again, they're good for when your power goes out in the winter. And we live in a town where that's probably not going to happen. Now, if you live in the boonies, it's a bit of a better thing, but these wall heaters, like, suck, I think. they work good for garages, which I think is what they're more meant for. I don't know how well they're supposed to work indoors. They don't work very well in our indoors. But yeah, our week has been wild. It's been a long time since I actually made a voiceover for something, just because I don't like to hear myself talk. But, yeah. I'm gonna keep saying but yeah all the time. It has been quite a wild week, and I'm kind of afraid to see what's next. One of my biggest fears is a house catching on fire. Which it almost did. I didn't mention that. We have a whole outlet that's like, I'll insert a picture of it. It's not as bad as some outlets that I've seen that catch on fire, but this outlet definitely got a little bit melty at some point, because the top outlet, which one of the heaters was plugged into our main heater, which thank God that actually didn't break. I would have been so mad if our $150 heater broke. But it overheated and melted the outlet, so now we can't even use it and have to replace it as soon as possible, which is fun when you can't get a hold of your landlords until Monday. That was a second. That was the boyfriend's parents calling. Whoops-a-daisy. I don't even remember what tangent I was even going on anymore. But yeah, it's been a wild week. Want to scream, want to cry a little bit, you know. But I hope you enjoy this drawing. I know it's not me completely talking through the video, but I just wanted to complain about this week I've been having. I swear. Like, Christmas is one of my favorite times of year, but man, this Christmas has been very fun. Last year I was depressed all year because I was living in a place that sucked. Maybe one day I'll make a video about living with my ex-roommates, and which they were perfectly fine people as people. It wasn't them. Long story. And then this year is just like, hey, you want a house that's falling apart that you pay $600 a month for? Which people would think I am crazy for complaining about having a house with 2 bedrooms, a full bathroom, and a decent-sized yard and parking for $600 a month, but that's actually kind of expensive in the area that we live, so I'm going to complain about it because the whole damn thing's falling apart. But thank you for watching. Enjoy whatever background music I got going on, and keep on drawing.